There it is. There we go. Now it's working. Found it. Cool. Let's get the headphones on. Let's get everything going. Hello. 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 I'm making sure I get everything set up proper here. Thank you very much. This took a second to get it all running. Who do we have here today? Let's pull this up. All right. Let me know how well you can hear me and everything, and we'll be good. Perfect. Thank you all for coming by. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Who do we have here? We got Echo. We have Average Doom Player. Joe's Doom Channel. Sweet. Sweet. Glad it's working. Just got everything pulled up here. And it's going to be a good little, just a little 1K kind of hangout. Be kind of fun little thing. I'm looking for a pic here. I thought I had one of those around me. Yeah, if you don't have anything you want to talk about in particular, yeah, just whatever. Just a cool little hangout for a little while, Quick little hangout. Cool, thank you. We got this too, I was going to bring out here. Yeah, just different stuff. Anything that might be on your mind that's like, hey, this will make a good topic to look at. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. It doesn't even have to be anything that is your own personal situation. Just a cool little thing. Probably jam some stuff here and... Hello, little garbage. Hey, Jeff. Hello, hello. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Math. I call you Math because that's part of your name there. Or I'll call you whatever, whatever you want to. Here we go. Sweet. Oh. You can probably hear that too. Oh, it just popped up a new tab for me. I don't know why. So it is currently Friday evening at 6:04 p.m. on June the 11th here in the Eastern USA. I am doing very well. Oh, hey, I like there's the little pun there. Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing pretty good. 12 likes on this thing already. That's pretty cool. Got some videos coming up. Oh, what do we have coming up here? Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. What do you think you could do to get better at guitar? Well, the first thing is, so I had a friend when I first started playing. It was back in high school. So I was probably 05, sophomore year, something like that. And he said, it'll take you a month to get good at the basics. And I'm there and I'm like, wow, a whole month? That's a really long time for this. It's really not in the grand scheme of things when you're learning a new hobby. Because here we are, 15, 16 years later, and I'm still here. I don't play as much as I once used to, but so to tie that all together, let's tie it all in. Hang on. Let's find your answer there. So the question was, what do you think I could do to get truly good at guitar? Give it time, for one, as with anything. Depends on what your goals are. Acoustic, electric, everybody should learn rhythm. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is actually a Samson mic. We'll get to that. Don't let me forget. This is Samson Q2U through a Go XLR Mini. So here's what we'll do. How do you get good at guitar? What are you into? Electric guitar, acoustic? Do you just want to like strum some chords here and there? Do you want to play lead guitar? Do you just want to do regular rock and roll? Whatever you're looking for. The basics. Epic is the word of the chat. I like that. I like the word there. This also comes with a cool bleep button, so it makes you sound like you say it. Bad word. Ho ho. No, but learn your chords and your basics. The fundamentals mean a lot because electric guitar with metal influence. Okay. Learn your basic rhythms and chords and start with that, because a lot of times what happens, and I'm guilty of it too, people will jump right into it. So let's back this up. The question is, how do I get good at guitar, or we'll go any musical endeavor? Learn the basics, start with your chords. Don't be afraid to start there. A lot of people, what they do, the issue is they want to learn the complex, super fast lead guitar lines, and that ends up being too much, and they go try to play too fast for what they're able to, and that just makes it sound sloppy and teaches you bad habits, when really the best thing to do, and I'm preaching to myself here, is to slow it down a little bit and learn it, and work your way up to that in time. I know you want to play it right now, but start with some power chords, learn those, understand why moving around on the fretboard does what it does, learn some of the shapes and patterns that you will commonly see in metal, like the minor scale. Even if you don't know the theory part of it, learn the movements, but don't box yourself into those. Get an idea for it, but be willing to think about like what you could do differently. Yeah, walk before you run is a really good way to put it. honestly really good. While we're talking about guitar here, I'll tell you what. Yeah, walk before you run is a super good way to put it. And that goes with pretty much any kind of endeavor. Like, if I can find a pick, I swear I will show you something. You know what? Let me grab out of my closet here. I have a few picks. Hang on just a second. I'll show you something. Here. Hold on. I don't know if you can still hear me, but I have these in my little shop thing. They're my own guitar picks, see? Did you know McDonald's was a real estate company? That makes sense because real estate is the property and McDonald's buildings are property that they franchise out and buy and sell. Hello, Adam. So it makes sense that they are real estate that they could be bought and sold and made money off of. You just don't normally think of it that way. You think of it as fast food. All right, it's still in tune. Sweet. That's not a little bit. So not bad there. Oh. So before you start, so for example, we'll take some chords. So a lot of people, what they do is they want to like start on the guitar, and this goes for anything. They want to like get to the super fast stuff, and it ends up, I don't know how well you can hear it. It ends up being like, and they miss a bunch of notes or whatever. But if you slow it down, this, I don't know. This is a little miniature guitar. I play it for my son a lot because, well, he's little and it's a little guitar. I have another one over there. It probably needs tune, and a couple back there too. I have no idea how old this is. But if you start with the basics, you just play a scale. Yes. See, look, learn your scales this way. And then you can figure out how you can think outside the box. So where can I go from here? These notes. I know it's probably hard to hear this, but you can kind of see my fingers at least. You can play around and see where you can go. I guess it really goes for anything, though. You know, you start with the basics, learn the fundamentals, work your way up, start slowly, and just go slow. Just don't try to do everything in a day. Figure out a technique that you want to work on and work on it, master that, and add other things into the mix rather than spin it around every way. The hardest part of being a dad, oh man, I'm still a newer dad myself, a toddler, but it's funny because like even in just a small span of time, there is so much that you learn. It's crazy. Do you mean the hardest like physically, emotionally? Because when you say hardest, you can go a couple different ways with that. When they're the newborn and they're waking up every 3 and 4 hours and you have to work in the morning, that's pretty tough. That's more of like, I don't know if you'd say physical, but that's one part that's hard. Another thing could be difficult for some people on an emotional level. Some people, I do okay with it, but some people don't like seeing their kids get shots because it hurts and they scream and they don't actually like understand what's going on. The only thing that the kid feels is like, hey, I'm being stabbed with something and I wasn't ready for this and it sucks. But the parent knows like, hey, you need the medicine to make sure you're safe. So, you know, a lot of people might have issues with seeing their kid in pain, which, hey, that's another good thing. Another part would be being responsible for a life, I guess. You know, it's a pretty big deal. It's something you have to take seriously, and you really can't understate how important that is. Like this is when you go to raise a kid, you're not just raising a kid, you're raising an adult, because even when they do turn 18, they are still going to be, you know, around and responsible and with you. So you have to consider that you're not just raising a child, you're raising an adult. It's a very important, serious thing, which is a very good question too. But all that being said, I still wouldn't trade it. You know, still would not trade it at all. Love it, and glad that's the way in the path that I'm on right now. So that's a really good question. Thank you. I like that one a lot because you can really spin it around and you can look at the positives, even though it's not for everybody. It's not, and that's okay. I respect that. But hey, I like it. The good age to get into the stock market. How do you deal with defeat and setbacks? Both of those are good questions I want to get to. So let me pull, you know what? I'm going to do this, actually. I think this will make things a little easier. Hang on. We'll let's see. Hold on. I got a perfect idea. Let's see if, I'm going to try this, see if this works. So we need to do a window capture. I'm going to pull a Devin Nash here, if you've seen him. Oh, wow. There you go. I think you see that now, don't you? Hello. Well, that was a little bigger than I expected it to be. Right. Oh, we'll just not make that. Okay, so let me scoot over here a little bit. Give us more room to talk here. All right. It's still going to be a little tricky, but we'll make it work. I want to see if there's another thing I can do that might make it a little easier. Both have really good questions. All right, hang on. Let me pull my chat back up because I lost it there. Both very, very good questions. Coke or Pepsi? Mountain Dew, which is a Pepsi product, I guess. Maybe? Coke product? I don't know. Something or another. It's one of the products. All right. Hey, that's no worries. I'll see you later, man. Now, yeah, if you're stopping by, controller, Eric, even if you got to go, that's cool. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for saying hello. Appreciate that. So I know it's a little bit late. Favorite enemy? You're probably referring to Doom, I bet. A lot of them. Oh, that's a hard question. I don't know. Something that makes you think and move and react. So when they're played together, that's what works for me. When they're done well. Okay, you know what? We're going to try a new window here to get these questions because I think this will be beneficial. Okay, we need to go to a view that is... How are we going to do this here? Zooming in, probably. Yeah, I hope you can see this. It's not the view I want. I want to do the page view. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not making it very clear. This is just WordPad, though. This is probably not all legit. Okay, anyway, let's do this. Where is my window here? Cool. Why did you make a YouTube channel? All right. Well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be just like dad-related questions. It can be like, what do I do with my life? Which I've answered in a video before. So let's get these three questions here. Favorite dad joke? Oh, yes. Okay, let me jot these down. These are real good questions. I want to get to all of them. Age to get into stocks. Dealing with defeat and setbacks. Why do you make a YouTube channel? All right, so the best dad joke is one of my favorites is one I'm going to post on TikTok after the stream is over that I'm editing now. So go to this page. Check this out. I'm posting one of my favorite dad jokes after the stream. I was actually editing it before the stream and I didn't get finished. So it'll be up on there probably like 10, 15 minutes after stream. One of my favorite dad jokes. Let me see. Chocolate milk or normal milk? The normal milk that turns into chocolate when you put the cereal or the cookies in it. Yeah, I made one the other day. I made a TikTok the other day. I never thought I would, ever. But it's actually kind of cool because I get to post like easy dad jokes and questions and stuff. So I just made one like the other day at 32 years old. I know I'm way behind the times. But it was cool. It was worth it. It was fun. So why did I make a YouTube channel? So I've always been into broadcasting myself. This isn't one that I'll need a lot of notes on because I know me. I was always been into broadcasting, and it's funny because this is actually something that would be good for a video if I don't forget about it. It's like, back in 2016, I wanted to make some videos, and I was like, I don't know if I want to. I'm second guessing myself. Maybe it's too much work. I don't know if it's gonna be fun. What about all the editing and all that negative crap? But honestly, like the thing that I've seen in my life over the years is that you don't really know till you know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really know what the true outcome is going to be until you actually sit down and try it. I had all of these doubts in my head, like, what about the editing? Is it going to be fun? Is it going to take up too much of my time? Is it going to suck? When if I would just sit down and try it, it would actually be worth it. That's the whole thing about it. I had all these hypothetical things. And I waited 2 years until 2018, and that was when I finally started it. And 3 years later, I'm glad I did. I finally actually got on to it and tried it. But I've always been into broadcasting. I've liked, cameras and microphones. I've done some broadcast voiceover work, paid work. So naturally, it just seemed like YouTube and Twitch would give me an outlet for games or for this kind of stuff that would give me a chance to get out there and do that. And that's the avenue. YouTube is huge. It's kind of like a monopoly, but that's the gist of why'd you make a YouTube channel. So that's a good question. Thank you. I like that one. So we'll take that one off the list there. What was I going to get to? Let's see. I'll kick on a little more here. All right, so the next one. I want to put the theme song back on. Let's do it. All right, so was it... Did I just close out? I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, never mind. There we go. So the next question I want to get to, age to get into stocks. I am late to the party in regard to that. So the earlier you can responsibly get into investing and saving, the better. Like, even if you're in high school and you have a part-time job or something like that, we'll go back, even if you're like, I don't know what the age would be, 13 or 14, and you're out mowing lawns, cutting grass for money, if you can start with the basics, the fundamentals of understanding, at least I need to save money, and then learning more about, well, if I start a Roth IRA or a 401k with my job or something through one of the big sites like Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. I've not personally used those, but I've done stuff through work. But if you understand that is where you can start, just as early as you can to learn about it, is honestly what I'd say. Like I'm going to teach my kid as he grows up. You can even start through allowances when they're a child. You can start through so much opportunities early on. And that's another video I've got in my mind. I got so much stuff I want to talk about, but you got earlier the better. To sum it up, the earlier the better. What's your favorite meat to grill from the average Doom player? Hot dogs are the easiest, for sure. They're just flat out easiest. Burgers are cool, but they can flare up if you're not careful, which kind of sucks. So you have to really watch out for that. Steak is good if you can do it right. I've been messing up my past couple steaks, but got some tips from Bucky-O for this next one. This next steak is a massive one. So hopefully I'll be grilling that. Marinate it maybe tonight, grill it tomorrow. So if I can get it right, it's going to be the best steak I've ever made. So fingers crossed. What else is there? I feel like I'm leaving one off. I tried shrimp before. It's okay. I didn't need to do that again. I've tried fish. Didn't really work out very well. Yeah, just anything like that. I feel like am I missing something? I can't think. Am I missing something? I really feel like that I am. Let's kick the tunes back on. What am I missing? Hot dogs, burgers, steak. I feel like there's one that should be there that's not. And I just can't think of it. Cannot think of it. Is anyone else? Can you pull me on this one? Tell me which one it is. It's one of them. We'll get back to it. Ah, that's a good one. Chicken was the one I forgot. I'm going to write that question down. Chicken, yes. How did I forget chicken? That is the other one. That is very good. Brats I lumped into hot dogs. Mason. Hello, Mason. By the way, if you're watching the stream and you need to go or anything, you can leave the tab up muted if you want to, because it does help out the channel with people watching it. So just something to keep in mind there, unless you're going to bed. Chicken, obviously, yes. Well, how did I forget that? Brats I kind of lump in with hot dogs. Be careful with steak. Clean the grill. Because I actually was reading an article about this. Cleaning a grill is great. Oh my goodness, I didn't even mean to make that joke. I did not even mean to make that joke. Yes, cleaning a grill is great because it has grill grates. Okay. Sausages, and I only tried them myself. Haven't really. How did I make that joke and not even mean to? Okay, whatever. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I did. Okay. So this is good. This is good. We're going to actually do some notes on this one coming up here, so pay attention to this one for sure. So we got controller quick swaps also chiming in with how you deal with disappointing outcomes, something I struggle with. Okay. All right. Let's make a little list. Let's brainstorm 3 ways that we can deal with defeats and setbacks and disappointing outcomes. All right. Let's take a look here. Let me send this message out real quick. All right. Dealing with defeat/setbacks and disappointing outcomes. So naturally, they will be a part of life. They will come. It is unfortunate and it sucks. There is good and there is bad. So it really depends on what it is. If it's something that you can control, learn to be just 1% better that next time, and then try to improve on it that way. It's so easy, I've touched on this in a video, to be like, oh, okay, here we go. Number one. Number one, don't beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. Let me take a look here. Because really, it doesn't help anything when you beat yourself up. All it does is put you down and make you mad at yourself. There's a difference between getting mad at yourself and saying, I'm going to get better at this and working on it, and saying, oh, this sucks. And hitting your head against the wall. So not beating yourself up is one huge thing. To tie into that, number 2, probably learning from it. So ask yourself, all right, what went wrong? What went wrong? If anyone has any specific examples, let me know. What went wrong and how can I fix it, to kind of tie into that first one? So if you are late in the morning, this is one that I should really be listening to. If you're late in the morning, say, why am I late? Did I stay up too much? Did I hit snooze too many times when you have 50 alarms like me? What if I just got up 5 minutes earlier? That's all I need, because really, that's really most of the things that you need, honestly. So if you can learn from it and apply something, you'd be just way better off. And that goes for me. That goes for pretty much anybody, anything. So important to be able to learn from it. What's a third way to deal with defeat and setbacks and disappointing outcomes? Got it. I know another one. Ready? Friends and companions. Why have this in your mind alone? Why go through it alone? And I see those questions there in the chat. I will grab those here in just a minute. They're good ones. Why go through it alone if you can have some support roles? So let me put this on here for sure. Support roles. A lot of times what we do, guys are super guilty of this. We bottle emotions up because we're told over all these years that we're not supposed to show emotions. We're not supposed to, cry or whatever else it might be. So if you can have a companion or a friend or someone that you like, an accountability partner that you can bounce ideas off of and you be there for each other, that's good. Not really someone that will sulk with you, but someone who will bring you up. Like, not someone that will help push you down and wallow in your misery, but somebody that will help you get out of that. And maybe you can be that for that other person too. You can be that. But having somebody there as a support role is really huge. It can be like a partner, it can be a friend, it can be whatever, it can be online, real life. Real life does have its advantages for sure, but just somebody that you can get some second opinions on, that sees it from the outside in, and that can give you a different perspective and also pull you out of the muck and the mud that you're in. So very good questions there. So we got that one. Let's go to, here we go. Here's some good ones. All right. A week left of school. Oh, I remember school. You're very welcome there. If you ever get a pet, what would it be? Have one, and why'd you get it? Yes, I have a cat. Her name is Kitty, and she's actually an emote on my other YouTube channel and my Twitch. I had an artist draw her wearing, where is it at? She was wearing one of my hats, and I drew it with her. I've had dogs before, but have the cat now. I'm just more of a cat guy than a dog guy. They're inside, they take care of themselves, they're chill, most of the time. And they kind of do their thing, That's a good question. I like that. All right. I want to do this one next. How do you personally optimize your editing workflow so that it's as fast and efficient as possible? 80-20. So we're going to talk about this. This is optimization in general. This is how to optimize your workflow for anything you do in life. 80-20 means take that 20%, if I can get this right, take that 20% that you spend the most time on and figure out a way to make it better. Let me back up for a second. Let me back up for a second on that one. Optimize editing workflow so it's fast as efficient as possible. Yes, 80-20 is the way, because if you take something, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. The stuff that matters 20% takes up 80% of our time. There's a lot of different ways to put it, but what can you cut out or trim up or become more optimized with? Do you have a graphic that you put on screen? So for example, a lot of YouTubers have like, subscribe, icon, and they put them in one by one, when what you could do is make one graphic that has all of them and then just do it once, and then you put that graphic in each video. Think about it. Instead of doing one thing, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 across 3 different videos, 9 things, you make it once and then you do boom, 1, done, boom, next video, done, boom, next video, done. And that's for anything. Like when you're mowing the lawn, I go in a circle and go to the end, to the inside. I don't go up, back, this way, that way, stop there, go that way. Figuring out how to make it efficient, it goes a long way. And it's gosh, that's a good question though. It's going to depend on you too. If you can use shortcuts, shortcuts maybe aren't the thing. I think the biggest thing is finding what it is that you can do quicker. Like me, I know here's how I'm going to zoom in. I click on here, I do that. and you get a feel for yourself over time. So that's something we could talk about more if I have more time to think about it for sure. That's a good one. I like that. 80-20, look that up. 80-20 is the rule. Favorite type of dairy product? Ice cream and milk, probably. Cookies and cream ice cream specifically. Whole milk. Didn't used to like whole milk, but I do now. Whenever I got big into lifting weights, I started drinking whole milk. And it's kind of stuck there, right? But I'd say that, yeah, ice cream, whole milk, one of those things for sure. Definitely one of those. So let's go to this one. Have you ever struggled with procrastination? If so, could you please tell me what you did to get out of that mindset? Yes. Yes, and yes. Okay, so let's put up our 3 things here. Let's figure out. So the first thing, just start. Now, I know that's obvious, right? The first 30 seconds or minute or however long is the hardest part. The hardest part is getting up off the couch, right? Because if you're sitting there, you're like, maybe it's just 5 more minutes, maybe it's just 10 more minutes. And if you just get up and start it and you're like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've done this like 50 times before, and I tell myself it's going to be different every time, and it's not. Because, I mean, let's be real with it. I've done the exact same thing. I do the exact same thing. So getting up off the couch is getting that process going, and then you can start moving along with it. So there's a thing called Pomodoro method. So you can do, for example, you can tweak it to whatever you want. Say maybe do 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. So that way you give yourself a little break in between to be able to take a rest. That way you don't look at it grinding things out. You can do that. You can break it up into chunks. So rather than having one 30-minute task, have 2 15-minute tasks tied in with number 2. It just depends on you if this works for you or not. But honestly, like getting started with it and just moving on to it, not getting distracted, that's another thing too, goes a long way with it. Even going back to the 80-20 that I talked about in the previous question, figuring out how you can cut the fat and spend less time doing what doesn't really matter. Like if you're spending 15 minutes on things that you can do in 5, it just makes sense to cut it down in some way. But it's a good question there. I like that. I like that a lot. And then, like I said, breaking it up into tasks if you can. Very good question. Yeah, no worries. No worries about not being on there, whichever. Ah, good one. Hang on, let me paste this one in here. Let's see. Where did my water go? I think I left it in there. Huh. What is your preferred way to... okay, let's think about this one. This is a good one. What's your preferred way to learn new skills? So specifically long or hard things, if that makes any sense. Yes, it does make sense. So we can take that off because it does make sense. Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3. Hello, going well. What is your preferred way to learn new skills, specifically long and hard to learn things? Well, I'll tell you what we can do. Perfect example. Like I mentioned with guitar, you take it step by step. It's going to be intimidating to look at everything like, oh, you have to learn these chords, I have to learn these lead guitar lines. What about the notes and scales? What if you broke it down into step by step, into beginners? You learned, like we talked about before, walk before you run. What if you broke it down to the very beginner level, starting off learning one skill? I'm going to learn this thing with a little bit of other things thrown in so I can be, have a variety. You learn that, you master it, and you go to something else. So if you're working on chords, you do that, and then once you've learned that, you can go to maybe some riffs and then some leads. So we'll do that. That'll be our first point, is breaking it up into smaller chunks step by step. That'll be our first one. Okay, boom. So breaking up into smaller chunks step by step. Number 2, if you do that, that in turn stops you from getting overwhelmed. So we're going to point that up to the top there because, well, actually money sign is good. So don't get overwhelmed with it. You break it up into smaller chunks step by step, and don't rush it. Take time with it. That's a good one. I like that one. Take time with it because you don't have to learn everything in a day. You can back off a little bit. So if it's, say, for example, saving money, learn about what a checking account is. Start there. Learn about then maybe what a savings account is. Okay, cool. These are the places that you put our money. Then Maybe learn about what inflation is down the road. Maybe that's maybe something you could do a little later down the road. Talks about the purchasing power of money and how as we print more money, the value of the money does not go up, but it goes down because there's more dollars in circulation. Therefore, what buys $1 now will be maybe 90 cents later on down the road. So take your time and don't get overwhelmed. Break it up into smaller chunks step by step. And here we go, number 4. Ask for help. Don't be afraid or don't think that you shouldn't ask for help when you're learning new things, because people will like to teach you and help you out and figure out what it is that you're learning. So if you can ask for the help, they have likely been in the same shoes that you are in, so they'll know how to handle it. You break it up into smaller chunks. That helps you not to get overwhelmed, and you realize that you don't have to do it in a day. That's a good one. Don't have to learn it all in a day. Then boom. All those 4 things. I'm trying to think if there's any more, but if you just start there. Have an interest in it too. Have an interest. That's another one. If you like what you do, it's going to help out a lot, honestly. But if you don't, like if it's a sucky subject, like you have to learn, that's another thing. But still, I'll leave this up for a second. Okay, let me come over here. I feel like I missed some stuff. Hold on. That's okay, Echo. No worries. All right, preferred way to learn how's life is good. Pineapple on pizza. I like pineapple. I've just never really messed with it on pizza that much, but I do like pineapple. It's pretty good stuff. How long have you been a dad? About 1.5 years. So still new to it, but I tell you what, even that time frame, you learned so much. Even in like the first little bit, you learn so much that you didn't realize before. Hey, Carmi, how's the stream going? It is going very well. We've covered quite a few good questions. Very, very good questions that have come up in the chat. Good stuff. You know, we talked about a little music, life skills, bunch of things. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be like a question for you specifically. It can be something that you like to talk about, or you think, hey, this might be a good video topic. Anything like that works, which is, you know, the questions that we've been covering actually. So it's pretty cool. I like that. Let's pull up. Let's do this tune next. There it is. Love it. We'll leave that up on the screen there for a minute too, just because it's good stuff. Move it around. It's good there. So let's see. Let me think about something else. Okay, so I have a couple videos coming up, and I've been posting some polls about it. See, probably the next video on this channel will involve. Actually, I'll tell you what. So we'll do that one here. I see your question. Let me paste that up there. I see that. Let's look at that for here in just a minute. The next video on this channel, and we'll get to that question after I tell you about this. The next video on this channel, probably, I think I'm gonna put it up tomorrow, actually. Yeah, tomorrow. Someone asked me to make a video about how to talk to girls. That's a really interesting topic because I like the psychology about how we speak with others and communication and body language and all that sort of stuff. I can actually make a few videos on this subject, and it's stuff that I've used that's worked for me. I mean, I've been married for several years now, and been together since like high school. So it's stuff that's worked for me over the past near 15 years. So I think it'll be good. All right, so let's go to this question too. Be sure, I think I'll put that up tomorrow. So come back for that video. I think you might like it. It's an interesting one. Okay, let me read this. Let's get some time to think about it. If inflation works by having more dollars in circulation, what if an owner of a car company made 10 cars, gave the cars to himself, and sold the cars? Is this illegal, and would he turn a good profit? So what do you mean exactly by that? Inflation over time, as we print more money, the value of that money tends to go down, right? There's more money in circulation. It doesn't mean as much to have $1 now as it did 30 years ago. See what I mean? So let me look here. So I'm trying to see what exactly you mean there so I can best answer the question. Come back to that one here in a second. A gaming laptop, don't know which one to get, a budget of $300. Can you recommend? I'm not very good at tech stuff. There's it's got to be a laptop. I would say there's a subreddit for build a PC. I personally wouldn't want to tell you wrong. If it's a gaming laptop, you can get, you want one with a good graphics card, of course, and processor, of course. I know the old laptop I had an integrated graphics card that was kind of built into it. It didn't run things very well. I'm not the best person for the tech advice, so I don't want to steer you the wrong way. I know Jeff in the chat earlier, he does a lot of Switch stuff, but he's likely pretty good with tech. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is yeah. UV pistol start. Mm-hmm. That would be a good one. I agree. Yeah, yeah. GPUs are expensive. I mean, always expensive. Like, way much dollars. Unfortunately, I'm glad I grabbed mine when I did. Yeah, no problem. So, also, I'm trying to see the inflation in the car question to kind of maybe put a better picture with it. Let's see here. Okay, so, yeah, that's the thing. Laptops, they'd probably be more expensive than desktops, wouldn't they? Like, I got mine, and I've upgraded it along the way. I'm still looking at this question here. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Raging Board, I'm picturing you probably will like maybe $600 for a good gaming laptop. 600 plus. That's what I would say. That's just a shot in the dark. I'm not a tech expert, advisor, or anything in that. I'm just me. So, oh, okay. I know that some car companies made a couple cars to be in circulation. The less of something there is, the more value it has. Does that make my question any more clear? Yes. It doesn't surprise me at all that places would kind of artificially limit what's in circulation to make each one more valuable. You could do that. I mean, if you really could. Like limited edition stuff is a perfect example. Limited edition, like, hey, if you don't get this now, it's gone forever and it's not there. Supply and demand. Oh, okay. So it's reminding me of circulation when we talked about the inflation. So what I mean by inflation is like $1 now might, like $3 now might buy you some bread. In 10 years, it might cost $3.50. It just depends. As we make more dollars, the value of each individual one goes down because there's more out there. That is something interesting there. Oh, yeah. This is a good one. We'll get to that one. So yeah. Let me think about that. He made 10 cars. If he gives them himself and he sold, now if he gives them to himself, if he runs a business, I could see him doing that. But then selling them, I don't know if it'd be illegal per se. Let's see. Oh, I like these. So let me put these up here real quick. Here we go. Hang on. I'll put the main theme back on. Let me come back over here. Let's do this. Boom. The theme. Hold on. All right. Kermie asks, hey Austin, I have a few possible questions to throw at you. 1, what's your favorite part about being a parent/dad? All right. I've always knew I wanted to be a parent, right? But you don't actually know what it's like till you're holding the kid, you're in their shoes. And it's cool to watch them. Like, it's crazy looking back a year ago and seeing like how old he was and how big he was then versus now. It's seeing somebody like grow up over time. It's crazy. Like, I remember him being that little, but like, was it really that long ago? And it's cool, like, because you do a little thing and they think it's the coolest thing in the world, even though it's like the simplest thing ever. They love it. It's crazy. And to be able to, let me pull this up here. Yeah, it's just the coolest thing to be able to do all that. It's cool to see him. Cool to see him happy. Even like silly little songs like Baby Shark or Cocomelon. They really love that stuff and they eat it up. And it's really cool when they see you, like, they rely on you a lot. So that's a big responsibility for you to be able to say, like, hey, I got to raise this kid right. And they put a lot of faith and trust in you. And that's nice. Feels nice. That if they hug you or something like that. But yeah, it's a lot of things we could talk about. Favorite part. Definitely get something to get and think on. Let's check this out here. Yeah, definitely. It can definitely be a wholesome thing. It's hard at times, but I still wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it at all. That's a good question. I'd like to come back to that one in a future stream too. With the recent popularity of food delivery apps due to the pandemic, do you have any tips or tricks for anything relating to it? Let me add this here. You really will... Okay. Let's try this again. With the recent popularity of food delivery apps due to the pandemic, do you have any tips or tricks for anything relating to it? I don't personally use them myself, but they look very expensive, which I've done delivery before as far as like ordering a sub and then having it delivered to me. So maybe if you don't have to use them all the time, maybe just be careful and watch your budget because it's so easy to spend money and not realize it. Like, so easy. And I got you here in just a second, Vibraphonics. It's so easy to spend money on the fast food, on the food delivery apps in general. If you write down, just take 2 weeks, write down everything you spend, and it'll surprise you. You might think you spend 50, but it's more like 75. It sneaks up on you quicker than you know when you just swipe the card. It's not in your mind, and it's just so easy. So if you can go get your own food, that will help save a little money. Like I said, I've seen some of these delivery apps, and they seem like they're pretty expensive from what I can tell. I usually just go out and get my own. Bring it from home saves a little. But ultimately, having a budget and sticking to that and learning these good habits long-term will help you more in the long run than saving a few bucks a week. So it's really like saving money on fast food isn't about making a huge difference in your financial life because you saved a few bucks. It's more about like building the habits and understanding in the long run that the small leaks do add up. So let's see here. See. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. No worries. So let's take a look at this next question here. We'll do this song. How does the higher education system work in America versus other countries? Do you just pay an entrance fee and that's it? Or do you have restrictions according to how you did on your previous year? In Belgium, we have a point system with the government and schools, which use great amounts of discounts. You spend them on each topic you follow and earn them back when you succeed. So I actually have a video of college is right for you or not, and I plan to make one about how to pay for it. But you have tuition. The gist of it is you have tuition that it costs to go to the school for X amount of, for a semester or a half a year. You can get things like scholarships based off your academic performance, your sports performance, or even things like your ethnicity that will help give you money to go to school. So when you hear someone say they have a full ride, that means they have their full college paid for, which is phenomenal. If you can have a full ride to college, take it. Very well worth it. So, restrictions. I know maybe some would only pay for the room and board, some for the books. I don't know if so much as restrictions as each thing is already divided up. Like it costs a little more to live on the campus if you have to get the dormitory room than if you just commute each day, which costs gasoline. So you're really paying for the time. You're paying for like by the half year, essentially, or by the year rather than just saying you pay one time and you're done, which I guess really depends on how you look at it. Apple, or I don't want to say it's what kind of comparison, but that makes sense. A point system with which you earn discounts sounds like scholarships. There's also a thing called FAFSA, free application for federal student aid that you can fill out online and apply for. And depending on you or your parents' income, they will basically give you free, it's basically free federal aid, which is probably paid through tax dollars. But yeah, that's a topic I plan to visit in a video, I would say, which is interesting. I like that. That's pretty good. Oh, let's go back to the parent one. It's a huge responsibility. It really is. But it's pretty cool, though. Still yet pretty cool. Let me look. Hold on just a second. Do you have any other questions about that one to bounce back to it? Let me see. Yeah, it's a good question, though. We talked about earlier the hardest parts of it, and the favorite. Let me think of here. I like that. We actually went swimming the other day, and it's really cool to see like slinging his arms in the water. Something so simple, splashing in the water in a little tiny pool, is like the biggest deal to him. It's kind of humorous to see that. Like we take it for granted, splashing in water, big deal, right? Well, to a kid, that is the only thing they know about it. They've not been to the ocean, to the pool. So this is a new horizon to them to splash in that water. It's a bigger deal to them because they've never seen anything like this before and never done anything like that. So it's cool to watch that perspective and how they view life and watch them grow up from that and change over the years because they grow fast. 1 minute they're crawling or laying down, rolling over, crawling, walking, running around, talking. It's crazy. Hello, Jaden. Welcome. To comment on restrictions, when a student gets under 30% of his study points, you get restricted from continuing. Oh, really? You do? You could get kicked out of school, typically if you do something really bad that you're not supposed to, or you mess something up that way. But as far as losing study points, that's interesting. I don't really think that's as big of a thing here. Because you think about it, if you're paying them to go to the school, they want the money, of course. Now, if you do fall under certain requirements, you do have requirements to go to some schools. I can see that being a thing. I personally haven't seen it in like my real life that I can remember, but I could see that being a thing. That's interesting. Hello, Elsa. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on? We got some good questions today, some really good questions that have come through. 100%. Let's take a look here. Go check something out real quick. Hang on. Let's pull something up here. Checking the Discord. I'm in my Discord. I'll give you a link if you've probably seen it from there, but I'll give you a link anyway. Let's find that. I'm here pretty much every single day. It's for my other channel. I haven't made one for this channel. I don't know what to do about that one yet, but I'll give you a link just in case you're not there. There we go. Okay, so it's interesting because the government, if they're paying for it, that makes sense. It's an interesting take on it. I know what tune I want to have now. Let's check this out here. Let's go back to this one. I'm going to jam this one again. I'll pull it up here real quick. No, those are all good questions. All really important things to look at. Very, very good video topics even. But like I said, tomorrow I should have another video out. How to talk to girls was actually a viewer suggestion, and I like that topic. It's a great video topic to talk about because it's important. Like, it's a big deal. I feel like I have some insight on that for you. So altogether, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's the Discord link there. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can throw out some more questions if you want to before probably go for just another little bit longer, then it'll be dinner time for me. Here we go. I gotta do this one again. Love it. Let me check the window real quick. Oh, this is a good question. Okay, 1,000 euros for 2 cement. Oh, yeah, that is. Yeah, it's not cheap in the States. It's more expensive if you go out of state than in state, but it's not cheap. So here's some good ones. Have you ever made a Doom map? No, I've messed around with like Deep Sea and editing program barely, like years ago. And when I was a kid, I would take pieces of paper and draw on it. Like for Heretic, I'd draw an O for Ophidian, the monster. I'd draw my little maps on paper, but I never really did anything big with it for real. Oh, this is a good topic. This is a good one. Here we go. They're all good ones. All right, hang on. Let's pull up a few points. If you started living alone, how would you recommend saving money or start saving money? Well, for one, find out what it takes to live. Income needs to be greater than out. So what I mean by that is live within your means. If you can only afford a $500 a month apartment, just a random number, don't get one for $1,000. You have to figure out, what do I make? How much money do I make? Start here. How much money do I make? What will it take for me to live? And figure that out. And try to make it to where you have more that you make than it costs to live. So a lot of people get roommates. That's another good one. So find out what it takes. Roommates or partners. This way you can split the costs, find someone trustworthy, and you're able to half the rent. But the most important thing, you have to start here. You have to live within your means, because you don't want to go negative and then get a credit card and then have to, well, credit cards are good, but if you're using it to basically pay your rent, however you do your rent, you want to be able to do it with the money you make. So that's why a lot of people get roommates. Having the discipline, that's another good point, discipline. Don't go out to an expensive dinner every night of the week, because that is money that you could be putting toward your rent. Now, that comes to the whole budget point. Budget should be number one. Well, actually, we're going to give it part of number one. Find all your costs. If you know all your costs, good. If you don't, find them out. Get the roommates. They can help you out with it. And have the discipline to be able to say, hey, I need to spend this. I need to save this. And put that all together. Let's see here. Work, you could do odd jobs. There we go. Work, odd jobs. That way, say you mow the lawn for someone and it's $30, or you do it's $50. Don't undersell yourself, of course, but you know what? That increase income from whatever way that would be. So just a few quick tips. This is a really big topic you could go more into detail with, but that at least gives you a good starting point, I hope. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, we don't have a salary to go to college here unless you have scholarships, which, like I mentioned earlier, they are things that you could, have good grades for, good sports, or, just different things that they do. So if you really get creative and look for them, you can find a lot for scholarships. That's cutting my face off. I did not mean for that to happen. Womp. There we go. So scholarships are good. Grants, all that sort of stuff. You don't know till you try. You see a lot, and you can find a lot out there that you never knew existed before. So it's definitely something to do there. Let me think about that one. That's something I should tackle in a video, I think. It's a good one. It's a good one. Thank you for that question there. Let's see here. Let me copy this one over. What would you say, credit card or PayPal? I personally use PayPal for my online purchases, given I don't have an income aside from my parents, but what would you say? Okay, so the biggest thing here for credit card versus PayPal is protection. Credit card companies have an interest to protect the money, because when you spend it on PayPal, like when you spend a credit card, you're spending their money. When you use PayPal, you're probably spending your money. So they both have protection, but the credit card company is going to be more incentivized to get their money back if something goes wrong. So you could do a credit card for that, and it'll help build your credit, get cash back. Just don't miss a payment! Exclamation points. You can auto pay to have that help. So it just depends if you have your bank account. Let's see here. I would say be careful with a card. Only get one if you can use it responsibly. If you can't, don't. You have to use those responsibly. PayPal is convenient. I use it myself for online purchases. But I would say it depends on your age too, really. If you may not be at a state to where you want to get a credit card, but each has their own purpose. Some people would use a card only and then just pay it off straight out of their bank at the end of the month. But just kind of think about it. Think about the pros and cons there. Credit cards are their money that you're borrowing. If you can pay it off at the end of every month, credit cards are good. They are fine. If you can't, it's a bit of a risk. They do have things like cash back, but I have a video talking about how I maxed out a credit card for several $1,000s once. Learn from my mistakes, see how serious they are. That's a video that'll be coming to the channel soon. So very good question, very good topic there, for sure. So important, because the people that are great with their credit cards, they're over here, and the people that are not great with the cards are making a ton of money for the company. So the credit card company doesn't want somebody that's good with the card. They don't make money from them like they do with someone that is paying a bunch of interest. Principal and interest, all that's a super good topic to handle one day. It's something that's very important. Okay, this is a good question here. Hello, Joe. Welcome back. This is a good question here. What about a prepaid card? I got one from my bank as a trial and switched given I can't keep paying for the card. Like a prepaid Visa card? Those are, you could do those, but they're more of like, it sounds like they're more of temporary use. You go to the store, you get someone a Visa gift card, but yeah, they work. You can use, I learned about privacy.com to be able to just sign up for one single-use cards, which is another way. But if you can get an actual card, prepaid will be good if that's what you got to use, for sure. But, wonder what you said, keep paying for the card. Is there a fee or something to have it? I know if you go to a store and you buy like a Visa gift card, you typically have to pay an activation fee and you cover that cost as opposed to the person. So same thing when you have cash back from a store, you go and you say you get $20 cash back. Well, you pay like, maybe a dollar something fee on top of that to get the cash back. So interesting there. So we'll probably take another question or two and see what's going on with that. Let's pull up, let's do this here. Hang on. Here we go. We'll do one, just a little tune here. What one do we want? We'll do this one more time here. Perfect. So I think MasterCard prepaid credit card is what I got. I have not used the prepaid cards really much myself to give you personal experience. I need to get more into cards themselves, but I would say it does have its perks over a debit there for sure. But yeah, that's like I say, if you got to use the prepaid, go for it. They typically have a few bucks of a cost to get, and it's, if you don't want a company continually billing you, when the prepaid card is out, it's out. Or you can just get a really cheap card and use that once, like the privacy.com website, and you won't have to worry about being billed over and over and over again in case you forget to cancel subscription or something like that. So not bad, not bad. That's a good question here too. So what have we covered? Gosh, we covered a lot today. Let's see here. Let me take a look. Hang on just a sec. There we go. Yeah, so like, there's a lot of different things you can talk about when it comes to, dad advice type of thing. You have your relationships, your money, how things work in the world, like principal and interest, apartment leases, all those sorts of things that are very valuable to learn, and they really do help you out. Okay, let's see. From what I gathered, you can put on credit before purchasing anything, but pay for having the card. Now, if you put something on a card and you pay it off before the bill is due, then you won't have any interest, and it does help credit. I see what you mean. Before purchasing anything. Okay. Oh, that sounds like a debit. Okay, so you get the card and you credit it. Say I want to put $20 on the card, like that. Prepaid card, that makes sense. I see what you mean now. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm referring to. You can get them from stores, and you say, I want to get $50 on this card, and they'll put 50 on it and charge you like $1 or $2 or something like that. People do those like for gift cards, for birthdays, things like that. Or, yeah, you can do that for your cash. This just has a small fee to it, but it's totally a viable option if that's what you want to do. I'd recommend maybe if you can get something permanent down the line, that would be good too. But yeah, I'm not sure how the prepaids and credit and all that stuff goes, but it's definitely something valuable there. It's a good question with it. Let's see. Let's go to this here. Perfect. Yeah, it's important, and the younger you can learn this stuff, the better, because really time is your best friend when it comes to this. If you're 15, 16, 18, okay, you don't have a lot of experience, 19, perfect. This is the perfect time to be asking these kind of questions and learning about them. Better to learn them younger when you have more time ahead of you on the road and start applying the things that you can figure out and learn. And you have over 10 years ahead of me, for instance, that if you learn this and apply, you'll be that much ahead down the road. So even knowing to ask these questions goes a long way in figuring out what you want to do with your future there. So just even asking these questions is super valuable, that you have an interest in learning this, that have an interest and invested in your future this way. So that's good. That's very good. Way better. Like I said, the younger you can start and learn about stuff, the better. So it's very good. Think about it. You're already talking about schooling, already talking about college, university, cards, all that sort of thing. Super valuable. Let's see here. So we went over that one. Very good. And welcome back, Joe. Welcome back. I got your message. I see the message there for just a moment ago. Let's go to, let's see. Here we go. Let me go here. Been thinking about cool business concepts lately. Usually gardens add value to properties. Space is also very valuable. Do you think a business that sets up gardens in a neighborhood for free, but the catch is they take crops in the garden every couple months or so, be a good idea? Win-win for everybody? Okay, are you talking about maintenance over time? So yeah, this will be a good topic here. This will be a good topic here. I would still charge for that business. Going and getting the crops is good, but I think the return on investment that you'll get from actually charging outright up front would be better. And I haven't really seen a lot of that would do it that way. You could technically, but if it means you're going to be maintaining it, so they would have to consider that, and you would have to consider that too. You would be basically maintaining it. I still think that you'd be best outright setting it up, paying a flat fee to, or depending on the size of what you're doing, if you're going to maintain a garden, and then if they need maintenance, you could come back, set something up. Maybe if they're a long-time customer, you could give them a special deal. Just depends on how you would want to do a business. Space is very valuable, yes, and different things do add value to properties over time. That's why people get houses and then they sell them later on down the line for more money. I know we talked about inflation earlier, but if you add something onto a house like a room or anything, you clean it up, make it nicer, it does give it more value, which is nice. It's called building equity in a house when you build it up and pay for it and pay toward it more and more. That's a whole other thing. You'd be surprised at how much interest you pay. But yeah, see, well, okay, you said in theory the company's getting space for free, that the people who own the house is getting property value from a good-looking garden. I would still think that more people would probably pay because lawn care is a huge business. Not just mowing lawns, gardens, all that. So I would say that the more traditional method would be to use paid services, like paying outright for it. I haven't really seen, like I said, as much about the crops in the garden, but it is an interesting perspective. What you're looking at is like a revenue share type of program, and audiobooks do this based off of how much that they have and that they grow. They give you X amount. So, hey, oh, okay. But yeah, give me just a second here. I will be right back. All right. Okay. So yeah, this is let me pull it up here. Definitely a good topic. Definitely something we could go in more detail on about, talking about revenue share when you take part of. Oh, look at this here. Revenue share when you take part of the profits or take part of, I guess you could take part of what they grow. So it's a good one there. The company does all the maintenance work. The people in the house don't have to touch it. Okay, I see what you mean. I still see more of a cost going to that more typically, but I see what you mean. It's interesting. Subscription to MMOs. Let me see here. Yeah, she's hold on. Yes, this is the channel mascot. Essentially, it has an emote after wearing one of the hats. Let's see here. Subscription to MMOs. I play Clash of Clans. I get the gold pass each month for $5, so there is that. I never did get into WoW, like $15 a month, but I mean it's one way that they would charge. In their business model, subscription-based stuff is good. Month after month they get the revenue coming in. So I think a lot of people would prefer that to something like microtransactions, to where you're paying $2 here, $3 there. Microtransactions don't really have a great reputation in the community, despite me playing a game that does them for the past 6 or 7 years. But no, it's I see what you mean. I know some have the free to play, but you can pay to accelerate the process. Others might just have out front. So it's just a business model, a way to make money. Hello, welcome. Let's see here. Yeah, so we're just wrapping it up here, but we'll take one more raging board. It's currently stuck, but I want to make videos. Yeah, so it really just depends. If you're going to make a video, the best thing to ask yourself is, what can I do different than everybody else, or what can I do better? So what can you do to make those montages different? Think about that. If you're going to make those, make some way to stand out with them. What can you do different and better than what others are doing? I know I don't mean that in like a selfish way or anything. I just mean, how can you stand there? I have a question. What one game would you show your child to introduce him to the world of gaming? When he was a day old, he was listening to a Doom stream that I was watching in the hospital, so I guess you could say Doom is his first game. He's actually sat on my lap and played Chex Quest on, trying to grab keyboard and mouse, which kind of worked, kind of not. I don't know. I've seen people ask that question before, how to introduce kids to games, but that's something I have to think about more, honestly. It's probably something more simple. They play with toys, building blocks, and that sort of things. But, so it's like, it's a good question. Something basic. I don't know if motor skills is the word to use, that will teach them, like, hey, move here, do that. It's a good question. We'll think about that one. Ask a dad, huh? How do I approach a girl and give her a good first impression? Watch tomorrow's video, I guess. I have a video coming out I'm going to put out tomorrow on that topic. There's a lot more that I can make on that, because the communication behind it and how to do that is interesting too, because it's something a lot of people have trouble with and really have struggles with, pretty much everybody. And I think I have some insight on that, since I think I have some insight on that, on the communication and confidence. Confidence is huge. Gosh, there's a few videos I can make on that topic, honestly. But yeah, Nintendo's a good game. Mario's classic, for sure. But yeah, so at Just Random Stuff, watch my video tomorrow, because that relates to your question, and maybe some videos in the future do too. But I think I'm going to call it an evening there. I'm going to go have some dinner. Here's an invite to Discord. if you want to come there, I'll be there and chat a little more across the evening. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. We're going to call it here. I'll have the video out tomorrow. Yes, this is a kitty. I'll have the video out tomorrow. Since you asked, how to talk to girls, how to communicate. It's like I said, it's a question a lot of people have, no matter what age you are, and it's an interesting topic. So watch the video tomorrow in the future. Yeah, confidence is very, very good. So I'm not, message me about that. I'm not sure. Try it on PC maybe. Yeah, confidence is huge, in communication, your body language, all that, your commonality that you have with another one. So a lot goes into it. There's a lot of videos you can make on it. Super interesting topic starting tomorrow. So thank you all for coming. Thank you very much for watching this. I'm going to call it a night here, and I'll see you in the Discord if you want to chat or in one of the next videos. Thank you all so much, and we'll go ahead and sign it out here. Just give a big chat. Thank you. See you later. Ending it here and cutting it off. Thank you so much.